is the #1 ranked angler in the world, Jacob Wheeler.
Jacob Wheeler of Chattanooga.
Jacob Wheeler. Wow!
How are you feeling?
Fishing for a living.
I'm on cloud 9.
Let's go.
We're here in Mexico. We are in the Dominican Republic.
You know, that's the reason why you travel, is to see different kinds of culture.
This place is unbelievable.
So I'm gonna tell you a couple different tips that have helped me over the years. I know this is how I provide for them. It just makes me try to work harder because that little girl is totally dependent on me. Hey, the season is here. The season is officially here. Off season is done, dude. I got my buddy Fletcher Shyrock right here, and man, it's been a few months since we've been out there on the water competing. What have you been doing in this off season?
I've done a lot of stuff aside from fishing for just a little bit. There's always that period of break where I have to just kind of get away. I think we all do. For you, it's hunting. For me, it's a random assortment of things, from riding my dirt bike to riding razors to, you know, just kind of getting away, stepping back. And it's a good time of year because the fishing is usually tough in the fall. But yeah, just trying to step away for a little bit, but it doesn't take long until we're right back in it.
That's the thing. I mean, obviously, it's like you have to take a step back. You have to, because it's almost like if you can take a step back from the fishing side of things, you're so much more hungry when the tournament season comes. If you burn yourself, I mean, by the end of the season, we're fishing so much, you get a little burnt out.
Yeah, I feel like for me, it gives me a different perspective a lot of times. Like whenever you just step away, sometimes you look back at things that was a big deal maybe before, and all of a sudden it's not now. And hey, maybe I can do this a little bit different or whatever. I think just stepping back and taking a total break. We're never going to take a total break from it. I still fish a lot,
of course,
even in the off season. But just taking a step back sometimes I think is a big deal, just to trying to figure out where you need to be and where you need to go potentially moving forward, you know,
I
just
think
that big reset.
I think a lot of times people at home, they don't understand, like, our off season, you know, we do have some time off, but how much time we spend on the business side of it. You know, just because we are out here, you know, we're not fishing, competing, it is almost like a 9 to 5 is what it is. A 9 to 5, regular 9 to 5.
More than I think.
Yeah.
It's less for me than it is for you, obviously. Yeah. But even that being said, there's so many little things that, and I love it though, but like every day you wake up and it's like, there's X number of emails and it's this and it's that. And you know, when you sit back and look at it, it doesn't sound like a lot, but every day to day, it's like I'm so busy, and it seems like it's just the off season. You know what I mean? I know you're worse than I am. So
I know. I mean but that's the thing, is like it feels good to get all those things done. We got boat routes, we got truck wraps, we have, you know, contracts that we have to renegotiate. We're developing products. I mean, Fletcher's doing his own rod series and getting everything dialed in on that. That takes forever. It just every little thing takes so much time. But anyway, but
we both enjoy it though. That's the bottom line.
We do.
So there's times where I start complaining about it. I'm like, dude, just stop. Like, you love every bit of this.
Absolutely
just quit.
right.
You know, I think we both have to remind ourselves of that. But,
so I think that, man, at the end of the day, I feel like we're ready to get back. We're ready to get back on the road. Our first event. So we're going to do this video to basically preview the first two events. You know, we have, you know, if you guys watched a couple videos ago, I announced the schedule and sort of went through some of the events. But this one right here, you know, being so close, first one of the year, Lake D'Arbonne is starting it off, West Monroe, Louisiana. We go to D'Arbonne, Caney, and then we go to Bussy Break. Yeah. And what's your opinion of this? So, like, I want to hear some of your guys' opinion on the comments below too. What's your opinion on the 3-lake deal? Okay, do you prefer a single lake, or do you like to have it swap up? So we're gonna fish D'Arbonne first, then Caney in the knockout round, and then the championship round is going to be Bussy Break. So there's a lot of different stuff right there, and we'll dive into it. What's your opinion on it? You like going 1? Do you like going 3? Do you like?
It's just, I'll say this, just going into it, as I feel like everyone feels like it's a lot.
Yeah.
Because we get a day and a half. I call it a day and a half, really, of practice.
Well, especially this time of year, because we only have so many hours.
And it's dark at 5 o'clock. You know, the fish quit biting at 4 pretty much. So you don't have much practice time. So to figure out 3 lakes, you're never going to figure out 3 lakes. Forget about it. So there's so much strategy that goes into it. But pretty much, I guess the best way to put it, you have to be the guy that's going to adjust on the fly. And that's why I think you've done so well. I mean, you do well regardless, but It's the guy that can adjust on the fly in those events where they take us from lake to lake to lake, because no matter what, 2 days of practice, day and a half, whatever, like you're never going to figure it all out. No one's going to. So you have to, and you got to realize too, we start practice a week before we fish the last deal at Bussy. So you could go to Bussy Break, Championship Day Lake, a week before in February, and it's going to be different.
Completely different.
Possibly, more than likely different by the time you get there for the tournament or for the actual championship round, if you make it there. So there's just a lot to that whole deal. You just got to be willing to like know. You almost have to fish a lot like an MLF Cup event in a way.
Absolutely right.
I feel like, and I think there's very few guys that's been able to do that, and you're one of them that's been consistently able to just show up, put the boat in, drop it, and go. I feel like I do decent at it.
You do really well too.
Thank you.
It's just making those adjustments.
It's different than just being totally prepared and having your Lowrance already dinged up with what you're going to do, and
I do agree with you.
You got to shoot from the hip on them. So that's the deal with the first one, is going to be shoot from the hip. You got to obviously make it through the first one to get to the second one. And you obviously got to make it through the second one to get to the third one. So it's a challenge, So
what's sort of interesting about that one is, we're starting the tournament off on Lake D'Arbonne. And Lake D'Arbonne, I did not go pre-practice. If you guys did, I think, a whole bunch of guys did. It's a little bit tougher body of water to fish. It seems like it's not an easy body of water to get to a lot of fish at. It has an abundance of cover, a lot of cypress trees, some vegetation, a lot of docks. It's got tons of timber in it. Lots and lots of timber.
There's not a shortage of stuff to throw at. I went over there and just drove around it. I drove around it and Canny in one day.
Yeah.
Like you're looking at 2 lakes in one day as fast as you can. It's just kind of the process you need to be in those
just
events.
To be able
once
to
again.
visually.
But just being able to see it and just kind of run the boat lanes. I mean, it's a dangerous place to run. Obviously, you stay in the boat lanes, you're good, but you get out of that, you got to be careful. So navigating is going to be tough.
That's a huge deal.
I don't know. I think a lot of guys are a little bit freaked out because they tried to fish it in December. And from my experience, December never fishes like February.
Never.
The days start getting longer, everything starts changing, I think we're going to be all right. I don't think it's as bad as maybe we're expecting it possibly could be. And hopefully it's even better,
There's a lot of guys crying. There's a lot of guys crying out there. They always cry. Literally, if it's the best body of water ever, I ain't catching 30 pounds a day. This place
what happened to this place?
Oh, this place is horrible. It's going to be the worst tournament ever. They always do that. But
Score tracker update.
Yeah, they're freaking catching them.
Yeah, score tracker update.
Now, this is the thing. At D'Arbonne, for all the viewers out there, before we jump into it, it is going to be 1.5 pounds minimum. So, MLF and MLF committee, they go to each body of water and they put a minimum, our minimum weight per each body of water. So we have 1.5 pounds minimum on Lake D'Arbonne, and then we have a 2-pound minimum on Caney and a 2-pound minimum on Bussy Break. So it just really comes down to the krill surveys, what the lake has to offer. At that point in time, I feel like now D'Arbonne is a little bit smaller of a body of water. I think it's only 16,000 acres. So you're talking about 80 guys on 16,000 acres. The thing is, we do have 2 days. So we have a Group A and Group B where we have 40 guys on one lake, or 40 guys on one day and 40 guys on the next day. So that's going to split it up a little bit. I mean, I tell you what, we're both in Group B. Fletcher and I are both in Group B. And there is some times it's like, there's some lakes that you're like, man, I'd like to be Group A. And to me, the way that looks like, I'd like to be Group A in this one. I mean...
Yeah, I think we kind of talked about this before we started shooting here, but I really feel like it's going to be an event where the first couple of days, as good as the place may be, I think we're guys have kind of downgraded it more than what it really is going to be. I think it's actually a lot better than what it is, or we wouldn't. I think it's still decent. It's still a good lake. But I do think, based on just seeing it, looking at what I've seen, it's going to be a 1-day, 2-day deal, which means by the end of our day, the place is going to start getting beat up. I don't know if it's a lake they're just going to keep coming to wherever guys are fishing.
Fortunately,
day 3, day 4 is going to be tough, I feel, but we'll see.
Fortunately, we are hitting it on a little bit of a warming trend.
It looks warm.
It looks a little warmer.
Yep.
So that's something. All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot right here. No practice, no nothing. We don't know what's going to happen. What do you think the cut weight is going to be? We always do this after practice, but what do you think the cut weight's going to be on Lake D'Arbonne? 2 days.
2 days total. I think the first day you're going to see the cut line be 14.
Yep.
And I think the second day, especially our group, day 4, I think you're going to see 9, so 14, 9, 23.
23 pounds.
I think it's going to fall.
Oh,
I do.
it will have, yeah.
Unless the
that
water's
sun gets
rising,
out, yeah.
I don't think just the heat itself is going to bring that many in, personally.
Yeah.
But I'd say 23.
23
But
pounds.
I think the second day, like I said, our first day, their first day is going to be a lot better, and it's going to.
Yeah, I would say that's my guess is going to be 24. 24 pounds.
Well, we're not far
so
off.
24
Yep.
pounds. That's my guess, just off the hip. We'll know more. Now, jumping on to, I mean, I'm excited for that whole deal. Now, we go to Caney. Caney's known for some dang great
Yeah,
big ones.
we're going to catch them there.
I mean,
I just drove around it, but I mean, it's kind of like Captain Obvious, when you pull into the boat ramp at Darbone, there's nobody. And then you pull into Caney and there's boats everywhere. I'm
you're
just
like,
saying.
wait a second, man.
So, yeah, I think that one's going to be good, but you've got to make it there. So.
And that is only one day of competition. So that'll be a 2-pound minimum. That will be the knockout round. And I guess it looks pretty awesome. It's 7,500 acres, from my right around 7,000 to 8,000 acres. There's a lot of cool features on that body of water. Just looking at it, watching some YouTube videos, and checking it out, and what I've heard, it sounds like it's got some great big ones. I think the state record was caught there.
Like, there's been many records.
Many
of the top Louisiana records have come from Caney. So, and a few from Darbone, I think. And I will say this: I don't think them reducing the 2-pound to the 1.5, I don't think is going to make much of a difference. I don't think it's going to be, we're going to catch a huge numbers of fish.
No.
I think a guy's going to catch a 5 and a 4, and he might catch a 2-2, and that may be your day type of thing too. I think that I don't know if them reducing, not the saying they shouldn't have, but I don't think that that's going to make a hill of beans either way in the results. I think we're going to catch some quality there. It's just, can you catch enough?
This time of year, it does not matter what you do. For the most part, most lakes, it's not a numbers time of year. You're not going to catch a lot of bass. You're going to generate, a good day is 10 bites about anywhere you go.
Yep.
Okay? It doesn't
and
matter
that
if
10
you're on
bites are going to be better
Gunnersville.
quality
Exactly
than any
right.
other time in the year. That's why I said I don't know if that half pound,
It doesn't
them
matter,
dropping it
yeah.
down is going to change much, but we'll see. Maybe it does. It'll be interesting.
I think you'll have a few bites, but overall, it's really going to come down to who can generate a couple big bites and get them in the boat.
Exactly.
This is the thing that at the end of the day, if you lose that big fish,
yeah, you're going to be in bad shape.
You're going to be you're probably
not
ain't going to be real happy about that one. So now Bussy Break, it's like a couple thousand acres, from my understanding. There's a lot of bushes. There's a lot of trees in the water. I guess it's been insane. It opened up a year ago, about a year and a half ago, and now it's insane. So I guess it's sort of like one of their favorite little places in that little zone right there. It's probably got a lot of fish from my understanding. So we're gonna have to see what happens. But overall, there you go. There's our cut weights going on to stop number 2, stage 2.
I like this conversation a lot
Lake Fork. All right. Lake Fork, man, I'll tell you what. Last time we were there, you caught it pretty solid.
I did pretty good in the elimination rounds, I don't know, 6th or 7th. And
you started on big bedfish. I remember watching the video.
Yeah, I think I just missed the final day.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about that is everything that I was fishing is now 6 feet up in the air. It's going to be, we're going to be looking up at where everyone was catching them at this time around. That's the biggest difference.
That's cool though, because so just to give you guys, the viewers, a heads up on this, Lake Fork right now at the time of this video is 6 feet low. They were 6 feet plus. So it's low. It's been low all fall, but they drew it down to work on the dam. And now, it is. You can see a lot of the timber. It's pretty crazy out there to go there this time of year now. And then where we were before, I remember looking through a couple places that I ran, and I said,
"Yeah, same."
I
looked across some of the places. But it's only this wide. When you're you can't see, you can't hit it. Just remember that. Don't take my advice.
You do draft a lot less water when you're on pads.
That's right. The harder you give it the gas, the less you're going to hit.
Okay.
Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me.
So Lake Fork, we're going there the 3rd week of February.
Yeah.
More than likely, it's going to come up a little bit. I don't feel like it's going to come up a lot. Low water, which changes that fishery, which is really cool just because at the end of the day, it's going to change. You know, you're not going to be able to go back to that same spot, that same waypoint, that same location where you caught them last time.
It's a completely different lake.
It's completely different. Yeah. Exactly right.
And I almost like it better in a lot of ways. I was really down and out when I heard that they were going to, you know, pull the water out. I saw they pulled the water out until I went over there and drove around it. And after seeing it at that level, you got to realize there's so many big fish in that lake. Everyone knows it. But now you just took, I don't know how many acres.
Yeah.
You know, square miles out of that lake and just pulled all those giant Lake Fork bass and put them even in a smaller area.
Yep.
And now you can actually see what we used to idle over through all the stumps to get back to them is now just standing trees. Now that makes it, we talked about that, it makes it a navigational hazard just getting through. You're not driving over stumps anymore, you're driving through them.
Yeah, there's no running over them anymore.
But it makes everything visible,
it does.
Which I like. So you can see the old lines of the timber. Like everything's pretty well plain as day. Now I'm not saying there's not things to hit, but I feel much safer now than what I did before.
I feel like 90%.
You can see it all, most of it.
I feel like 90% of the timber is out of the water.
Yep.
As of right now.
And it's just easier, I think, to read what's going on.
So
that doesn't make it easy to catch them, but I think it'll be easier to read the lake and see how it lays out.
I think and there's a couple different things I'm sure we'll see play. I mean, guys will catch them on jig, they're gonna catch them on a jerkbait, of course, they're gonna catch them cranking, trapping. You know, you're gonna see all the traditional pre-spawn stuff. It'll be interesting to see how that tournament's won, though. I don't know, because this is the thing. At the end of the day, when we fish one body of water, it's a completely different deal when it's a progression of the tournament. And a guy a lot of times will get out there and win their round. Typically, the guy who wins their round does not win the tournament.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
it's been very few times.
It's been a few times. I think I won one tournament.
You won out.
That I won and
because you're not out there on the daily to kind of.
No, I won two. Sorry. But that was different. Sorry.
You just won just two like that.
I was not trying to, but St. Lawrence, that was like more like spawning fish, bed fish, like have like more, more. Yeah. And then I had one at Eufaula that I made it.
That's true. That's true.
What's up, girl? What we got right here?
Hey guys, this is AJ.
What's up, AJ?
Say hi.
You say what's up.
Say hi.
So
she's like, whatever.
She is like,
here to see Daddy.
What is up? So Lake Fork's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a deal where you're not going to generate a lot of bites. You're not going to have 20 bites in a day. You're probably going to only catch, you're hoping for 5 to 10 bites.
And in that 5 to 10 could be a lot of weight, obviously. So she didn't want to come down.
She's like, hey, no. Yeah, I think you'll see some 10-pounders caught. I think you'll see one or two 10-pounders caught.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
A lot over 7, I would think. A guy may only catch 3 or 4, but I just don't see it being a numbers deal. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
It'll still be tough to get around, and it'll probably make the lake fish a little smaller, I feel like, with the water being lower. But that lake has fish from end to end.
I will say this about that fishing smaller. With the fact the water's so low, there's so many targets now. Mm-hmm. So it'll be not that I'm disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it'll be interesting to see with there being that many targets now versus before when the water's up. I'm talking shallow stuff, which we're February. A lot of guys are going to be shallower. Yeah. There's a lot more targets now in the water that guys can visibly see. So it might not fish as small as we may think. Then again, it could be really small. I don't know. But,
still, we only have 40 guys in the water per day.
Yeah, I don't think
so
that's
it's not like
issue.
That's not going to be a big deal. So
it'll be interesting to see how guys spread out, how many fish are scattered around versus just in sections.
I would agree with you on that. All right, cut weight on Lake Fork. I know, that's a long way out.
You can't guess
It's a long way out. We're going to guess it. though. I'll start it out. My guess, Lake Fork, February, and I don't even know what's going to happen. How we could have that lake come all the way up by the time
I don't think we want that.
Water goes all the way up.
We don't want that.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say, 5. I'm going to say it takes 37 pounds to make the cut. 37 pounds to make the cut.
My answers over here.
37.
It's funny how close we end up on this.
I don't think it's going to be 20 pounds a day. I think it's going to be 37.
Yeah, because the thing about the place is you can get 4 bites and weigh 22 pounds, and that's not doing really anything, But then again, too, you can go out and catch 10 and weigh, 23 pounds. Mm-hmm. But I do think 20 a day, but I also think day 3, day 4 is, not always, but I was going to land right around where you're at. I can't disagree. Somewhere around that.
So you think 40,
sub
20 a day?
40,
40,
sub 40,
sub
35 to 40, I think. So
All right.
AJ's excited. She agrees with me.
AJ's like, yeah,
And you.
that's it.
So.
That's it. So that is what it is. I'm excited to get this season started. At the end of the day, we got 2 great events coming up. We got to catch them, like we have to do every single time. I appreciate you hopping on here, dude.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you guys
Check
for
out
watching.
Fletch. I'll drop Fletcher's social info in the description below. All his Instagram account and everything else. Make sure to follow him on all his social channels. We're gonna get after it. We got to catch a couple bass.
I'm gonna try to catch a couple.
We're gonna see. See y'all next time.
He catches them all. I'm just gonna try to catch a few. That's how it works.
Wow.